here's the question.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Necessary Dialogue. The question is always going to be the same, and that is, what do
Okay.
you think is the most important topic that we need to talk about? We, as the public, Canada, the states, the world. What's the most important thing that we need to discuss and debate and look at?
Oh my God. I mean, first of all, you have to acknowledge that that's like a crazy loaded question in one sense. The most important thing that Canadians can care about, bar none, without any exception, is what is the global versus domestic agenda? Is there something to do with? Okay, so, anyways, what I was trying to say is that the most important thing I think that anyone like I can care about is what the whole deal is. And I don't understand or know an answer for that. I get really roped into the UFO, UAP topic, you know that.
Yeah,
I get
so
roped into government things, you know that. I get roped into Canadian things because I'm Canadian, you know that. But what's my most important? I don't know anymore. I am fixated on truth being better than lies. I'm fixated on good being better than evil. And I am falling apart on understanding what I'm supposed to be doing. So I'm beginning to become very more like adherent to good versus bad. So that's my starting point, but ask me more and I'll give you better answers.
Okay, so why do you think that is the most important topic?
I think because it's been driven into me. It's not the thing I wanted to be the most important topic. I was caring about things I cared about. They might have been frivolous. I don't think I was particularly, I don't know, I don't think I was particularly great at anything. I think that over time, what happened is I kept getting beat in the face, just like kicked and kicked and kicked in the teeth, as in like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this, moron? What do you think about this, idiot boy? What do you think of this? And over time, I was like, oh, well, I actually think I do have an opinion. And my opinion is that this is much more meaningful than the news. It's much more meaningful than basic newspapers, basic television journalism, basic anything. At a certain point, I started thinking, oh, wait, I do have an opinion. Thanks for kicking me in the teeth enough because now I have an opinion.
And what was your influence on that?
I was so liberal. You don't understand how liberal I was. And then I started thinking, why would I ever be on a team? Why am I on a team? Like I'm a transactional human being. Like, why would I subscribe to some ideology that I don't actually fucking know or have any tangible relation to other than people telling me you're a good person if you say that you love this? And then at that point I started saying to myself, well, what are my values? What do I care about? What do I think in life? And around that time it changed dramatically. It started to be into, oh yeah, you never want to be part of an ideology. You don't want to be a party person. You don't want to be very transactional. You want to say, these three issues matter to me. What do you think about these three issues? And if your answers aren't right on these three issues, then I don't care what party you're from. Party politics, I'd lost that. And anyways, yeah. So that was the thing.
So party politics don't play a part in your political thinking anymore then?
I think they're actually detrimental to politics themselves. I think that party politics tell you that you should you should wear the right shirt and the right hat, and therefore you are right. And I think that's garbage. I think you should care about the things that influence your life. You should express those, and the parties that line up with those expressions, those are the parties you like. I think it's exactly backwards. I think the party should be courting you. You never court the party.
Yeah, and I guess that's what they start off doing, but then they turn around and do it the other way around. But do you see in the future that ideology would die and that we would no longer follow ideology, but rather what's good for the people as opposed to what an ideology thinks is good for the people?
I would love to say yes. I'd love to. But I know that human beings are human beings, and human beings are ideological by nature. People want to believe in a theme. They love it. Ideologies are themes. They want to do that. It's a shortcut. It's shorthand. It it is the way to say, I want to be good. What's the good? That's good. Okay, then that's what I am. Okay, then cool. Then I'm always going to be good. Then that's it. That's not the way it is. Life is so much more work than that. I get it. It is more work than that. But I understand why people just want to say, I want to be a good person. Can you tell me who's good? I want to be good. I just want to be good. Tell me who's good. That's it. I'm done. Check mark. But so it's always going to be part of who we are because it's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to work. But but it's never going to be simple.
Life becomes complex.
Inherently complex.
Yeah. So do you see ideology dying in the future at all in any way?
I don't know how it could because I think it's inherently human. I think the human beings want ideology because it's a shortcut, like I said. But does it die? It should die. It could die if there was something better to replace it with. But at the end of the day, everybody is going to go for the simple, like, I like A, B, and C. Who likes A, B, and C? That's me. Done. So we would have to build something so much more complex than ideology. We'd have to build a system that was so effective that people didn't want to seek something else.
Because, well, when we look at history, when did ideologies start? The
They
Romans
certainly
didn't.
dated back to caveman times. Like the cavemen had ideologies. The cavemen told you that that waterfall was bad and that tigers were actually gods and you should do this. And everyone in the caveman society believed that. So this thing has always been. Do I want to transcend that level? I do. I don't know how to do it. Maybe I'm doing what they're doing. I'm going to endeavor to not do what they're doing because I would like to think that 10,000 years later I'm better. I don't know if I am. They might be the same. Like, think about cavemen. Cavemen might not be that far removed from you and I. And yet, I feel like we're having a nuanced conversation this more. But I mean, I'm speculating that we're better than them.
How would we know?
Or maybe it's more mundane. Maybe we're the same. We're not better or worse. We're the exact. That actually is just as hard for you and me to accept because we like to think of ourselves as advanced.
And how would we know?
We could, we Encino Man could come and then we would know. But yeah, how do we know? But why would we need to be better? Do you not? Do you need to be? You don't need to. Do we need to be better than them? I don't think so. I don't need to. I need to have done. I need to have. I need to have taken advantage of the things that have happened since more. But I don't need to be a better human than them. I'm fine.
So do you think that something big is going to happen to mankind in the next 20 years?
Yes.
And
But you know why I think it is? I think it's going to be non-human.
what do you
But
think
I
it's going to
mean,
be?
do you think that too?
What do you think it's going to be?
I'm not arrogant. I don't think I know. I think that I think that I think we're going to be told what something is, and I think we're not going to fully understand what that something is, and we're going to have to revector. And when everybody's feeling I'm going to be fine because I already knew that we weren't going to be given answers. How do you feel?
I feel like when I edit this, I'm going to have to put in a lot of beeps
Why? What did I do?
because of the way society says, like, in a podcast you shouldn't swear, and if you do, then we're going to cancel you.
Oh, that world's over.
The whole woke thing I think has disrupted our society as far as opinions are concerned.
Yeah, it also galvanized us. We became better because of woke. Because of woke, we understand exactly what we don't accept anymore. I know we're not through it yet, but in 2 years from now, woke will actually be the stone that we actually judge things against. We'll say that's wrong. If you made it through woke, which you've made it through, and I have too, you and I will never speak in the terminology that they did. The vernacular that they chose will never be part of what we do. And so we made it through that, and they've actually galvanized us. You're stronger because you weren't woke.
Interesting.
So I mean that's an opinion, obviously, but
Yeah.
you don't think that maybe it might be true.
Well, I think the world changes as we move along, and already there are people who are saying that this wokeness is silly and detrimental.
It's a it's like walking a plank. Sooner or later, you're gonna get to the end.
Yeah, and lined up in the dunk.
Yeah, sharks. Um, so, um, so what were you asking me though?
Why am I asking you?
No, what were you?
Oh,
What?
what
What
was
was?
I
So what
asking?
specifically?
Well, specifically, what you think is important and why that we need, what kind of dialogues that we should be having. Certainly, you've touched on that, and I think we need to be more articulate in what it is we want to say about our own society and how our society can improve.
Do you care about that?
I do, yeah. I would like to see society progress to a point where we can live in harmony with each other instead of these wars and greed and all that stuff. And I don't know how that'll come about. It may take, maybe it'll take a world war. Maybe it'll take a
Oh,
worldwide revolution of some kind. You know.
what if it takes a world war? What are we, what are you gonna do?
Well,
Like, what if it actually takes World War III? For Christ's sakes! Like, can you believe that we would do that? But yet, if
man has
it does,
done man
you're
man.
gonna have to. You're gonna have to like get through that. Like, you and I will like probably talk during World War III and try and coordinate. But like, the number one thing we'll say to each other is, "Why did this happen?"
Well, you look at the difference in society between from before World War One and after
Mhm.
World War Two. Society totally changed.
Can't believe we would do that again.
For example, when the United States finally and Russia and the Allies won World War Two, instead of implementing harsh treaties like France did to Germany after World War One, which
Mhm.
would be the Treaty of Versailles, the Americans turned around and rebuilt Japan and Germany, which was a totally something that no other adversary had ever done for
But it's
their.
kind of odd. Like, look at how we are with Japan. We love Japan now.
Yeah, we
We
do.
love them, and they love us.
Do you believe UAPs are real?
Yes, 100%. I
Yeah.
know they are. I mean, to
And
you,
even though
where are
you've
you now?
never,
You've been through all this. You've been through this with me. You've been through all this. I've been through this with you.
yeah, and so
Where
like
are you?
so here's the thing is that the difference is that you haven't seen a UFO, but I have.
But I
So,
believe them.
but
I know they're
but you
true.
still believe them.
There's no question. And you know what? It's funny. Before you say, let me just be clear. I haven't seen UFO. I haven't experienced that. And thank God. I don't do CA5. I don't Ouija boards. I don't do any of that shit. And I never will ever do any of it. I don't want to see any of it. I know because I can, I can scientifically examine a situation without being part of it and understand it. I'm not questioning if this is real. I already know it's real. I don't need it, and I don't want to know it's real. I don't want to experience. But you and I have been through this thing a very long time together, and you and I have both had to deal with this whole up and down. And I mean, where are you with this? That's what you don't have to convince me it's real. I already knew that. I mean, I swear to you, and I'm happy I don't
I
have
have
an
to
experience.
wonder how many people out there that have never seen a UFO believe UAPs are real.
Because I've read. Do you know how much I've read? Do you know how many books I've read?
No
Do you know how many,
idea.
I have gone through, this thing was known back in the 50s and the 60s in spades. It was done. By the end of the 60s, they already knew it. I don't need to question somebody who had an experience. I have no interest in analyzing someone's experience. So, how does it feel for you?
Well, I'm still waiting for disclosure, and
That's what I'm waiting for.
and I don't know if it's ever going to come about in my lifetime. You know, the first thing I ever read on UFOs was von Daniken, Chariots of the Gods, and then I read Crash Go the Chariots, and you weigh those two books against each other, and von Daniken has a better handle on what he thinks is going on than the guy that tried to debunk him. You know, von Daniken asked a lot of questions that people couldn't really answer, and so he had he had a speculative answer that we were visited by aliens in our past, and that's in the mainstream today. Today, everybody thinks that we have been visited by these UFOs for thousands of years. That's what they're telling. That's what these experts, supposedly experts, are saying. You know, so whether you believe them or not, well, that's up to you. Research it. Go look it up on the internet. There's all kinds of podcasts on YouTube. There's stuff on all kinds of posts on X. There's lots of information out there. And then, of course, you can listen to the debunkers, and some of them have a point. But when you eliminate photographs and video as non-evidence, then you got nothing. I mean, that's ridiculous. And as people have pointed out, that if you went into a court of law and presented the evidence that we have today, you would win your case. Simple as that. So, and is it an important issue? Well, apparently, it's if it is all true, then yeah, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you. And this is the way, it's the way people think, though. You can't just say that to anyone, just expect them to ever even agree with you at all. Of course, they would disagree with you 100%, right? It's a very weird thing that we're in. Because if you don't know it already, you won't know it. How many people do you think would listen to you talk about UFOs in the real world?
How many people do I think what?
Would listen to you talk about UFOs openly in the real world? Probably.
I mean, I've talked about it in Spaces a few times.
No, in the real world. In your world.
In my world.
Just anywhere. Go to coffee shop. Tim Hortons.
Nobody.
Yeah, so that's what I found too. And people care about you, will listen to you.
Well, here's the thing. If I want to start a conversation on UFOs, the first thing I do is I just ask them straight out, "Have you ever seen a UFO?"
Mm-hmm.
And uh, and I would say of the people that I asked, I would say 50% of them say yeah,
No way.
and then they start telling you their experience.
Really?
Oh yeah, uh,
Huh.
not that they really want to talk about it,
Yeah, yeah.
but they tell you their experience, and then they ask you, well, what did you experience? And you tell them your experience, and I think at the end of it all, you'll both land up believing what you've told each other. You
So
know,
wait, don't you? Doesn't that lend you to the
but that's
I don't know,
far and
to the
few.
idea that there's more going on than we thought?
That's far and few between. Out of the percentage of that happening is like 3%. You know,
Okay.
of all the people that I know. It's not like you talk to a waitress in a restaurant. Have you seen UFO? Like you don't ask the waitress that question. Just
Fair
don't.
enough. Yeah.
She'd probably look at you like, yeah, I'm going to get the manager and have you kicked out of here. You're a crazy person.
And yet it's way more obvious. So we're in a whole new thing. We're in a whole new thing.
Yeah, I mean it's amazing where things can go when the truth is being told.
So that's what you want, right?
Yeah,
Like, 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 to be honest, we're like really close to things being opened up. We're like maybe the last generation that's having conversations like you and I are. Like maybe it's about to be matter of fact. It's like this might be the most ridiculous conversation at one point because it'll be like everyone knew this, but like, do you know what I mean?
no, explain it.
I mean, like, if we're on the precipice of this actually being an open concept, then you and I are one of the last people that are talking about it conceptually, which is in and of itself hilarious. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if the next thing is that everyone knows that UFOs are real, non-human intelligence is real, and everything like that, everyone takes it for granted. It'll be so quaint that we had this conversation where we were talking about it being real. Like
So
you believe it's real, right?
yeah, of course. I mean, I've seen them. So and I've
So do you
experienced.
believe NHI is here?
Well, now here's the thing on that.
Yeah.
Do I have proof that aliens are here? No, I don't have
Believe. I
proof.
mean, believe. Yeah.
All I have is speculation because
Yeah.
of what we know these UFOs are capable of doing, traveling at the speeds that uh, are beyond Mach 8, Mach 10. They're traveling at speeds that are beyond the escape velocity of Earth because of the way they maneuver. I mean, at right and left angles. I mean, how does if any nation on Earth had that kind of technology, we would be owned. You know. So
100%.
so
Under
so it's like
100%.
uh, uh, what's his name now? Sherlock Holmes said in the Sherlock Holmes stories, once you've eliminated the impossible, what remains must be the truth.
Yes.
And the truth then must be that these are beings from another realm, another planet, another.
So you're sure of that?
Well, I'm not sure of that. I'm speculating that, right?
Okay.
Do I know for absolutely sure?
No,
Not at this point in time. I don't.
But you're leaning towards beings.
So I'm 99% sure, but I could be wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong at all, but you know what? That Michael Masters, he just did this big, I don't know, 2 days ago, just this thing about future humans. What do you think about future humans? I want to hear you. I'm so willing to hear people's theories on future.
Oh
What do you think
boy,
about future
I'll
humans?
tell you.
Michael
I'll
Masters.
tell you. Homo sapien has roamed planet Earth for what, 2 million, 3 million years.
Mhm.
Homo habitus roamed on Earth for 2, 3, 4 million years. Neanderthals, on the other hand, weren't here as long as those two others were, but they were here and they disappeared after Homo sapien appeared.
What was sapien sapien?
Yeah, but you know the humpback whale has been on planet Earth for 10 million years, and they haven't changed. They're the same as they were 10 million years ago.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm fully in sync with what you're saying.
So there are species on this planet that haven't changed. They haven't evolved because
Yep.
they didn't have the need to, you know. Are these grays that people are saying are future humans human? No, I don't think so. Not by a long shot. And we got someone that has joined in. Here,
Well, I'll take it if he comes in. But I will say before he says, I will say, I get what you said 100%. I mean, I fully understand. Actually, every single thing you said, I knew. But also, we have to question if we don't understand something. Like if we're completely wrong.
yeah. So, she left. I was just going to ask him a question.
No, he didn't leave.
Because he's there. So,
He's
Sharif, the question that is he still there?
No. You know what would be fun? We should get more people. You know what I like about you? Is that you're a fair, normal person, right? Like, you can talk about anything you want.
You mean I'm
I can
saying?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're a normal person. Like a person who's not, like, has an agenda of evil. We should actually talk to people. It would be fun. We should go find people and talk to them. Because if you listen to these spaces, there's some really ridiculous human beings. Like, they're just not, they don't even want to be genuine. They want to make disingenuous arguments. I hate that.
Right. Yeah.
Like, even if you didn't agree with me, you might make an argument that was in your favor. Fine. But you would never, I guarantee you would never make a disingenuous, made up, completely falsified argument just to try and best me.
You mean like
Just to destroy me.
You mean
in an
like
argument.
the Neutsches that are going to take over the world?
Yeah. You wouldn't make something up just to say I'm an idiot. That's kind of the baseline you need to have a conversation with someone. You have to know the other person wants to at least have it. They're not just there to destroy you. That's why it would be fun to have. It would actually be fun if we had like 4 people in this room to have a conversation, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and that's the whole idea of having a space.
Yeah, but you never notice that the spaces that often get the most people are pretty contentious. And they're like evil in a way. So, yeah.
And like whenever you come on my space, I'll always make you a co-host.
I will take it, but I don't even know if I have anything to gain. I don't know if I have anything to add, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well, it's because I trust that you're a sane person.
I'm trying. I endeavor. It's actually a really low bar. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try to be perfect. If you're trying to be a good person, then people will be like, okay, cool. You don't actually have to have a resume that you've been the best human being that's ever lived on the planet Earth.
Okay,
you just have to have a resume where you just want to be nice and want to try.
So without swearing,
yeah.
What did you think of J.D. Vance's statement on Cat Lady's that cat lady's
Oh,
comment.
okay. So first of all, I apologize if I swear too much. I didn't know that. But I will say, here's the thing about JD Vance. JD Vance is a human being. I exactly understand why he was selected as the vice president. The reason is because he is against the deep state. And if Trump was assassinated, then you would have an even further deep state person. So if Trump can make it to wherever he needs to be to, then you can't actually kill him because you're going to have a worse thing. That being said, JD Vance put himself out there. He wrote a book. He had a movie based on his book. So people should absolutely judge him based on that. They should read the book or watch the movie and then say, I don't like JD Vance because of X, Y, and Z. And that's all I think I should say about it. I don't think I'm qualified to say he's good or bad, but I do know that he was picked because he was an anti-deep state person by a president who almost got assassinated and is absolutely hates the deep state. And if you actually saw the ending of the RNC convention, which I did, he played an opera singer at the end of the RNC convention, which is the exact same song played at the end of a particular movie that said the deep state is going to be destroyed. So there was way more going on here. Most people don't understand at all what's going on here. I spend 24/7 studying politics, and I can tell you, I could go on for days about what you just asked me. But that's my quick answer. So there you go.
I won't ask you what your long answer is then, I guess.
Yeah, I know. And my long answer goes deep into there's a problem going on in America right now, and I hope it doesn't spill over.
Yeah, so I know nothing about JD Vance, other than that he's the Trump's VP pick. You know, I looked him up quickly and to discover that he hasn't been in politics very long, has he?
Well, he's had three phases. So he had a dysfunctional origin story, to which then he rose up, and then he built a company, and then he got really rich, and then he turned it around and went into politics. So, I mean, that's a classic story. It's worth investigating. But it doesn't mean that anyone would agree with it. But it is one of those stories. Right.
Yeah, they were saying that if Trump wanted to switch VP picks, he would have a hard time doing it.
He shouldn't, because he needs. I mean, okay.
They're saying that JD Vance doesn't bring anything.
You're Canadian, so you're gonna have. I don't know what your opinion on the assassination is, but when they tried to assassinate him, he declared he was done with the deep state, and this is going to come out over the next 6 months. But he declared he was done with the deep state, and he is waging a absolute war against the deep state now. And I mean, that's why JD Vance is in there, because JD Vance is like, if you think you're gonna put a bullet in my head, then he's gonna be the president. It's almost a guarantee that he will not be assassinated once if he's elected. They won't put JD Vance.
What I did find out is that he knows nothing about UFOs, UAPs, and he would never support it.
I don't think he has any clue about it. I can't. Yeah, you're right. So I don't think JD Vance even knows the topic. Like, he's so far removed. And it's funny because Trump does actually know the topic, but not that he's going to go too far. But yeah, none of this shit is in our favor. No, I'm not. I'm not advocating for any of this shit. Trust me. There's no. But who is? Who's our candidate? We got nothing.
What, in Canada?
No candidate. We have no candidate. We have nobody. There's nobody that's on. There's nothing that's on our side. Like, our issues are our own. Like, there are no presidential candidates that are going to make our issue number one. Period. No prime ministers, no anything.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think we are we're our own entity. We have to advocate on our own, and we have to like wait until we force somebody. But I don't think they care about us at all. Do you?
I think if you had a website that paid people to send in UFO film,
Really?
it would explode. People would be faking all kinds of stuff.
Well, that's not that hard to do. We could
Well,
do that.
what I would like to do is take something round and have them somebody throw it across our lawn so I can film it and go, yeah, that's my UFO.
I don't think that's good. I think that's gonna make us seem like
And
we're
as it
fakers.
passes by, people will stop. Oh, look! It says frisbee on the top.
Look at we got upper games. No, I do not condone fakes.
Yeah.
But look at where we're at, man. Look at what year it is. We're like
I
2
think we've
years.
stepped
We're 2
backwards.
years away from a massive blow up of this stuff.
I think
Like-
we've stepped backwards in time for some reason. I think
Why?
because we're people, our neighbors are struggling to keep what they think they love in line. If things can change pretty quick overnight. I mean, I think people are afraid of Trump because of the similarities between him and Adolf Hitler between 1918 and 1933. I mean, there's
I wish you guys knew
the
truth,
difference-
but I get
the
it.
difference between 1918 to 1933 and 1933 to 1945 are stark. They're totally different. Once Hitler got into power, he carried out everything he said he was going to do. And millions and millions of people died because of war, because of genocide, because of hatred, And I don't think the American people really understand that what they're getting themselves into. And they don't see it. And they scoff at people that compare Trump to Hitler. Well, it's not so much comparing him to Hitler as comparing to what the people did during those times and how things got out of control in the later years. They don't understand. They don't understand history.
I know for a fact you're a good person. It's like so obvious when you speak that you're a good person, and I'm telling you, we've been lied to about that. We've been lied to, and it's not just government, it's media. It's like if I know for a fact you're a good person, and the things you just said to me, 100% of the things you said to me were good, which means there is no version of history where you're a bad person. You said the good things to me. Now, am I sure that we're right about what to do politically? No, I'm not sure. And I think that we need to rethink things. And that includes you. But I have already figured out that you have a desire to do the right thing. So the odds of you ending up on the wrong side of history are very zero low. But it's going to be so much more complex than you think. I swear to you. Like, I swear to you, if you think Kamala Harris is savior, it's not going to be.
No, I don't. I think RFK Jr. is not a savior, but he'd be a better president than either of those two candidates.
What are the odds, though?
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
So what do you have to do? So you're quickly coming into what I'm saying. You're a good person when you understand that she's not the Messiah. And you understand RFK would be good, but he might not have the ability. Like at the end of the day, we have to make soup out of the slop. And I know you're that guy. I know you're not a frivolous human being. At the end of the day, if your family needs you to come to a conclusion, you'll come to a conclusion for your family. You're not just going to be a wishy-washy piece of garbage. And we know on this subject, there is not exactly clear cut.
So,
How are you doing?
on a lighter topic, what's your favorite food?
Steak,
Steak? What kind of
yeah,
steak?
ribeye,
Same here.
medium rare ribeye. I don't actually like Wagyu beef. It's garbage. Canadian ribeye, properly marbled, is amazing. It's the best. There's
That's
nothing better.
that's the only steak I will eat from now on because
Yep,
it's not tough. It's nice and juicy. And
it's real.
yeah.
It's and Wagyu sucks. Yeah. So my dad loves that beef. My uncles, my brother, my
How do you
sisters.
cook it?
Yeah,
How do you
it's the
cook
best.
that?
Well, barbecue is honestly my favorite because it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And but I would take it anyway. But if we usually in family, we will go. We'll literally like okay. So I'm going up north, like so I'm in Toronto, right? I'm gonna go up to Muskoka, which is like 2.5 hours north of Toronto, up to the cottage, and I'm gonna go with my family, and we're gonna go boat over to a butcher, and then we're gonna have cuts of beef, and we're gonna get ribeyes, and they're gonna give us some, and we're gonna take them back, and we're gonna like put them on the barbecue. My entire family, multiple, my cousins, aunts, uncles, everything's coming up there and everything like that for the long weekend, and we're gonna like barbecue the hell out of these ribeyes, and they're gonna be so good, and everyone's gonna die over them.
Yeah,
That to me, that's my dream. That's what it should be, and it's
With,
real meat from a real animal.
so, with potatoes or
There'll be some mashed potatoes, there'll be some Caesar salad, and there'll be some corn on the cob, and it'll all depend on how much your stomach can handle.
right? Yeah, yeah. So I like to cook because of my situation. I cook the ribeye in a large pan with butter, a little bit of oil, and salt and pepper. Uh, and keep turning it over a couple times till it's medium. Till I don't like the blood, so I like to
No,
cook
you
it
don't
to
want blood, and you want the fat to start to like like melt.
yeah. And I'll put in beside the steak. I'll put in uh, potatoes or now I'm getting old and I'm forgetting my vegetables. And put potatoes or mushrooms, green peppers, and let them
Yeah,
saute.
mushrooms,
Let them
garlic is
saute
good.
in the mix. And if I'm brave, I'll put in some barbecue sauce. And cook that up really well, and then serve it and eat. It's delicious. So, and
So
it's
clearly, you know that I understand steak.
what's that?
I say clearly, you know that I understand steak because that is
Yes,
it.
yeah.
That's what it is. That's it, and that's what it should be, and that's what everyone should be having.
And I think all Canadians agree on that.
I know, but But it's diminishing. People are gonna have that experience is going down and down and down. People are at one point this is gonna be antiquated. Like the fact that you and I have eaten actual steaks will become like a rarity. I actually believe that might be the case. Like
Yeah.
this should be norm. We have country, we have cows, we have people that raise them, butcher them, and deliver them. We should all have this readily available to us. It's easy.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be more, but I mean, and that steak is the most expensive steak you can buy. I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and it should be, well, prime rib, I guess, is the most expensive, but still, steak should be matter of fact because we have the geography to raise cows.
I think every Canadian should get at least two of these steaks per month for free.
So where are we? So you don't you know what I know about you? You're a nice person. You are a nice person that wants nice things for a nice world. You want to be part of a good country. You want things to go well. So where's the evil in that? There's no evil in that.
Who said
At
it
the
was
same
evil?
time. No, there's no evil in that. But at the same time, we're not getting what we want out of this world. And we need to. And like some of the things you're saying, like they're matter of fact. Like some of the things you're saying are very simple. They're matter of fact. But we're not getting them. Like we're gonna need to do something to get a closer approximation of what the people want to the people get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're a great example of what the people expect to get. So why aren't they getting it? Like, you're a great example as to like, wait a second, why can't this guy, who's pretty normal, be right? Why not?
Yeah. Well, I'll wish myself good luck on that.
Yeah, but you are representing everyone.
Yeah, well,
Why can't we all? Why
yeah,
can't we
well,
all be right about that?
I mean, I'm sure there's lots of friends and Canadians that would agree, uh, and there's a lot of other people that would disagree. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure when we publish I was going to say when I finally publish this conversation, we're going to get a backlash from somebody. Uh, we're going to get people that are going to try and degrade us or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see.
I would imagine that's typical, and that's probably expected, and that's maybe a good thing to backlash. But at the same time, like I mean, what's the nature of the
So,
backlash? That's really what matters. The nature of the backlash. Is the backlash just backlash for the sake of backlash, or is it like it's well reasoned?
well, it's backlash from people who don't know how to negotiate anything. People that I feel don't know how to negotiate a good conversation. But that's what this podcast is about. It's about necessary dialogue. What dialogue do we need to talk about and debate and explore? That's what it's about. And this is exactly what I wanted necessary dialogue to be. I've done, I think, 6 or 7 episodes right at this point in time, but I think this episode is going to be the best one of all.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. And I don't know, but I do know that necessary dialogue in and of itself is necessary. So you should be able to talk about stuff even if it's not what people want.
Yeah.
So this shouldn't be controversial.
Like steaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would, oh God, I wish I
And
was
then,
super-
do you watch hockey?
I do, but like this year hasn't been a good year for me. You?
Well, it was really great up until the Oilers lost the Game 7.
I mean, I obviously was rooting for them, and obviously, but I mean, Connor's awesome. I love that guy,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
I mean, I remember watching the series of the Oilers back in the 80s, early 80s. And what an amazing team. I even managed to get a sheet of paper with all their signatures on it the year before they won the cup.
Oh,
the year before they won the first cup. But I think it's old and
anticipation.
faded now, so it's getting old. It's barely you can barely see it because it was a photocopy. One of the
Oh,
guys in our shop got all the signatures and made photocopies for everybody in our shop. So it was quite a relic to have, you know.
so you just have to show it to him again and say, "Hey, you signed this right." He'd be like, "Yeah, I did." I say, "Sign it again," and then that's done. There's no
Well,
more debate.
all those others are gone now.
What you can get it. Oh yeah, true.
Those guys are all gone now. So you know that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, I'll take your word.
Anyhow, so it's been a great time here on Necessary Dialogue, and we should do this again soon.
Hey, if you invite me, I'll come every time.
You're invited.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Done. Done and then.
good.